What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The 72-hour window for finding survivors of Monday's earthquakes that shook Turkey and Syria has closed. But thousands of survivors remain, and humanitarian efforts to help the people displaced by the quake are now ramping up. Sally Jensen has the story.
Hilal çok iyisin kızım. Aferin. Bravo. Hadi. Aferin.
90 hours. That's how long 10-year-old Hilal was trapped under rubble. Rescuers had to amputate her arm to free her. Removing the block crushing her would have put her in more danger. Hilal was one of the lucky ones who survived Monday's earthquake. The magnitude 7.8 tremor has devastated parts of Turkey and Syria, killing over 20,000 people. This number is likely to rise. Rescue workers from the region and beyond have been working round the clock. Braving sub-zero temperatures, they hope to save as many lives as possible. A day earlier, this baby was saved from the verge of death. But for many families, it is already too late. The chance of finding people alive in the rubble has faded. This is the deadliest quake since the magnitude 7 tremor that hit Haiti in 2010, that killed over 100,000. Tens of thousands of survivors have been evacuated. Across Turkey and Syria, many are taking refuge from the bitter cold in makeshift shelters. The focus is now shifting to help these displaced families. Countries from all over the world have been sending aid and rescue teams. On Thursday, the first of 6 trucks of aid from the United Nations arrived in Syria.
We need the cross-border resolution to continue, and we need the cross-border assistance to continue in these very early days, because if we do not, every day, every moment, we're losing more and more people.
Teams from Taiwan have also been helping the rescue effort. The international community and the World Bank have offered billions of dollars in emergency assistance for what the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has called the disaster of the century. And while the world mourns for Turkey and Syria, the focus is now on helping those who made it out alive. Asnaya Zhou and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
A senior official from Taiwan's main opposition party says Taiwan and China should, quote, avoid political differences to protect trade. Andrew Shah, pictured here on the left, is the vice chair of the Kuomintang, or KMT. He made the statement in Beijing on Thursday during a meeting with China's top Taiwan policymaker, Song Tao. This is Shah's second trip to China in less than a year. The KMT says the trip is meant to boost dialogue with Beijing and to smooth over disagreements. At the meeting, Song Tao said that China will keep working to resolve what Beijing calls the Taiwan issue. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has not ruled out taking the country by force. Taiwan's agency for handling ties with China criticized Song's words. It says cross-strait relations should be based on respect for each side's sovereignty. The chair of the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee has said Washington needs to be more ambitious in its diplomatic competition with China. He made the comments at a hearing where another senator said that Washington needs to step up support for Taiwan. James Chater reports.
The chair of the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Bob Menendez, here telling the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State that Washington isn't doing enough to compete diplomatically with China.
The China challenge affects every region in the world, and you're going to have to do a better job of resourcing these efforts.
His comments came at a hearing of the U.S. committee he chairs. It's the same body that promoted the Taiwan Enhanced Resilience Act, passed last year. That legislation earmarked $10 billion in grants for military assistance to Taiwan. But another senator, James Risch, said the act was not being adequately funded.
The Biden administration said over and over again that it supports security assistance to Taiwan. However, it did nothing to advocate for Taiwan during the appropriations process.
The US is the main arms provider to Taiwan, which hopes to deter a Chinese invasion. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has threatened to take the country by force. At the Senate committee hearing, Deputy US Secretary of State Wendy Sherman reiterated Washington's support for Taiwan.
Our policy has not changed. What has changed is Beijing's growing coercion, so we will keep assisting Taiwan in maintaining a sufficient self-defense capability.
Taiwan's foreign ministry didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. US-China ties soured this week after Washington shot down an alleged Chinese spy balloon flying over US airspace. On Thursday, US lawmakers voted 419-0 to condemn what they called the balloon's brazen violation of US sovereignty. China maintains the balloon was a civilian airship.
我想这可能是美方对中国进行信息舆论战的一部分。
The balloon is the latest sore spot in US-China ties, and it's against that backdrop that tensions over Taiwan continue to simmer. Alex Chen and James Chater for TaiwanPlus.
Japan and the Philippines have agreed for their armed forces to work more closely together. A defense arrangement was signed on Thursday between Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. The deal comes amid growing regional tension as China works to build its influence in the Asia-Pacific. The deal will give Japanese troops more access to territory in the Philippines. It will also allow greater cooperation between the two countries in maritime security and disaster relief operations.
The signing of the terms of reference on the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief underscores our joint efforts to value human lives above all and to ensure that we remain resilient and responsive amidst natural and man-made disasters.
Ukraine says its southern and eastern regions have come under heavy fire from Russian missiles and drones. The governor of the Luhansk region said on Thursday that a new major Russian attack has begun. The push comes just weeks before the one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is currently wrapping up a tour of European capitals. Zelensky has asked Western nations to provide more weapons to his country, including fighter jets. Taiwan's Labor Ministry is encouraging companies to pay employees early each month. The ministry has received complaints that some employers were pushing payday too late in the month, making it hard for workers to pay their bills. The ministry wants companies with 100 or more workers to hand out salaries before the 5th of each month and smaller companies to do so before the 7th. But the ministry says it is not considering fines for companies that don't comply, raising questions over how enforceable this plan is. All pet owners think that their fur baby is special, but this senior pup has a Guinness World Record to his name.
Meet Bobby. He's not doing terribly much right now, but he's got a very good excuse. He's the world's oldest dog as certified by Guinness World Records. Bobby is a Rafeiro do Alentejo, a Portuguese breed that has an average lifespan of 13 years. But Bobby here is almost 31. How old is that in human years? Dog age charts don't even go that high. Bobby's owner, Leonel Costa, says his long life is down to good living.
Podemos enumerar 3 ou 4 fatores, mas este de viver no campo, junto à agricultura, natureza, sem dúvida, na minha opinião, é dos 3 fatores principais da longevidade do Bobby.
Costa says Bobby's health is also thanks to him being free to roam.
O facto de nunca ter estado acorrentado na vida, estar preso a uma corrente, acho que, ou uma gaiola, seja o que for, o Bobby, como nunca esteve preso, acho que aquela sensação de liberdade tem sido fator também importante. E claro, o nosso amor e carinho a vida toda também tem ajudado, mas de facto ele é que é o obreiro deste feito.
Lionel was just 8 years old when Bobby was born, so they grew up together. He's hoping their lifelong friendship will continue for a few more years to come.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave with images of an airplane house built by a man in Cambodia whose lifelong dream is flying. I'm Eric Gao. Take care and see you next time.